Star Trek and Gundam, man.
Oh, okay. I'm not a fan of Star Trek at all. The only one I ever liked was Deep Space Nine.
I love DS9.
See, I was watching Voyager at that time. I was watching Voyager on UPN back to back with Babylon 5, which I find to be the superior sci-fi television show.
I have all of Babylon 5. I've been meaning to watch it forever.
Babylon 5 is
get around to it yet.
Babylon 5 I did watch. It is really good.
I would take the worst episode of Babylon 5 over some of the best episodes of Star Trek.
I would agree with that.
Because even if it's like at the time when I was watching it, I didn't recognize things that I recognize now, like having worked in a warehouse. I recognize Gaylords, those plastic Gaylords that they were just using as filler in the backgrounds of Babylon 5. It's like, wait a second, they must have run out of money on the set.
Oh, it's cheap as I've seen I've seen the pilot and maybe 2 episodes. I'm like, man, this is cheap as hell.
Well, yeah, they were funded
by working with what they got.
They weren't funded by a studio or anything. They were funded by a plastics company.
Really?
Yeah.
That whole sci-fi show was funded by a plastics company.
So it's basically Gundam.
Well, I mean, the CGI effects were amazing for their day.
At the time, yeah.
Don't hold up so well now, but we're not a new generation trying to watch an old show. We're an old generation watching an old show.
Yeah.
That's coming back.
Yeah, but 2 of the best people are dead in real life, I mean.
I know half the cast is dead in real life, unfortunately.
Well, no, something that I loved is, did you watch, what was it, the new Dawn of the Dead? The one, not the new Dawn of the Dead, not the TV show, but the last movie.
Yeah, I have seen it.
Remake with Ving Rhames.
Oh, yeah. They have the extras where they have the doctor from Babylon 5 is a news reporter reporting on the infection as it spreads until the point where, he has to evacuate the news station. And the president who gives a speech is the guy who plays John Sheridan in Babylon 5. The captain of the station.
Bruce Boxleitner.
Yeah, who, by the way, I haven't seen since Lifetime original movies, because apparently that's where he went. Wait, Bruce Boxleitner, that was the second one, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, not the guy who played the first one who had medical problems, which is why he had to leave, but he kept coming back, though, because apparently Michael J. Swinowski was so good.
Yeah, that guy's dead.
Well, of course he had medical problems, that's why I said. He was not on good health, that's why they had to replace him on the show.
The doctor is dead. Anyway, speaking of dead.
Also the guy who played Denarn.
And Stephen First.
That's the guy who played the Centauri, right?
Veer.
No, I thought it was the guy who played Milando.
No, he's still alive. He's still alive.
Okay.
Garibaldi's also dead.
God, I almost don't want to watch the show anymore.
And Mia Furlong's dead. I told you, half the cast died.
I'm sure the guy who played the bald guy who played the not tech priest, that's Warhammer. The guy who played the techno mage, I'm sure he's still alive.
Which one was the techno mage?
He was the techno mage on on Babylon 5, and then on not Exodus. What's it called? The one where after one of the movies where Earth gets infected by the virus and they have to go on like galaxy-spanning quest to try and find a cure. He's the techno mage in that. He also used to do a History Channel show about weapons.
I think he...
Arlie Ermy?
No, yeah, that's the bald guy who played a techno mage. I want you for a moment to envision that in your head. Arlie Ermy as the bald techno mage on Babylon 5.
That sounds amazing.
It does sound pretty cool, not gonna lie.
Well, for one, Arlie Ermy is dead, so I think he was dead when the show was on.
No, he died recently.
Not that recently.
Past 10 years.
Yeah.
Babylon 5 was long done by the time.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
There was so many shows.
Anyway.
All of the dead cast members for Babylon 5.
I like how you were like, oh, anyway, Gary, thinking that we were moving on.
That's what I thought, but I guess we're talking about.
I guess not.
I want to point out we've gotten more viewers talking about Babylon 5 than playing the game.
Nice.
Shows where I am. I guess I'm a shitty GM.
Here's what we'll do. I'll try to watch one episode of Babylon 5 per week, and then when we come back to the game every week, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, do a
Yeah.
10-minute intro to the game. So how'd you think about Babylon 5? What you watch? Have you watched In the Beginning yet? You got to
So
start with In the Beginning.
Michael O'Hare, Jerry Doyle, Mia Furlong.
Jerry Doyle, wasn't that the guy from Sliders?
That was Garibaldi.
That's Jerry O'Connell.
Oh, right.
Mia Furlong, who was also in Lost as Danielle Russo. She was in Babylon 5. She was in
Yeah,
Bastard
no, she was.
Galen.
Yeah, I know that one. That one was sad. Man, that woman did not lose her looks at any point in her life. I'll tell you what.
No, she did not.
Also, I never felt more like Boomhauer. Anytime I think of, I tell you what.
Richard Biggs, who was the Doctor. Stephen First, who was also the guy that was in what do
Who
you
was
call
he on the
it?
show though?
He was Veer.
Oh, got it.
Veer Cotto.
The guy cast because he looked so young.
Yes. Oh well, but Stephen First was also cast looking young back when he was in National Lampoon's Animal House back in the 70s. So
Yeah.
he's dead.
What's the guy's name that played? I keep on saying the Narn. Jakar.
Yeah, Andreas Kaslusis.
Yeah, 'cause he was like the first one on the cast that died. First one of the main cast that died.
He was not.
Well, it was to the point that they wanted to do something with the Doctor and Jakar. No, they wanted to do something with the full cast, but the Doctor and Jakar were the first two that had died. So they made them. They had them go off exploring the rim of the galaxy together.
Yeah.
As like a send off.
Yeah, Richard Biggs was the first one to go, who was the Doctor. And then Jeff Conaway, because he had a drug problem.
And that was who again?
Zach Allen.
Oh, the assistant guy to Garibaldi?
Yeah.
The guy who refused to join the Black Armband Earth.
Yeah, something like that. I forget what it was officially.
Well, it was like the tyrannical government, and they wanted control on the station, so it was like they kept getting guards on their side, so they would like back armbands and tear down, but they thought it was propaganda.
I definitely want to rewatch Babylon 5 now, so thank you for that.
Oh no, it's full of political shit, and Michael J. Straczynski is so far an atheist, but he covers every religious point of view because the show is all about giving every point of view a good look at, even if the point of views that he disagrees with. You know,
Well,
obviously, other than the tyrannical government, which gets overthrown.
As it should. Speaking of tyrannical governments, you killed off the troglodytes. I can't think of a segue here, so help me out.
Yeah. Killed off to go.
No, just how about Pathfinder time?
Oh,
Pathfinder
God.
time ends in 30 minutes.
No.
Yeah.
It seems like you're having a lot more fun talking about Babylon 5 than playing Pathfinder.
Why
I'm
next
not gonna
week
lie.
we're gonna
I have not.
confine it
I
to,
don't
like, the
know a
first
single thing about
15
that
minutes.
show.
It's
So
gonna be the first 15 minutes when I watch an episode of Babylon 5.
How old are you again, Mando?
19.
19, so Babylon 5 would have been off the air when you were of TV watching age, so...
Yeah.
I mean that explains that. It's like we're talking about the most retro thing ever.
If you if you like sci-fi TV shows, definitely give it a watch when you get a chance.
So are we able to clear
the
debris off this?
Yeah, you can clear the debris of this area. It takes you a couple hours, but you're able to do it. After you do that, I need you to roll initiatives.
Oh, all right, sure, we can do that.
God damn it!
There's skeletons inside that are up and moving. They're tiny.
I can take care of those.
We got a necromancer. All right.
Get a necromancer with command undead in his arsenal.
Might as well finish this off.
Yep.
What's interesting about these skeletons is that they're small.
Fuck yeah, you're going first.
Bro, is that the second net point?
Yeah, say my hand has rolled natural 20s twice now on initiative.
Hand is just the fastest skeleton in the West.
I love it. Our necromancer goes first in the order.
Wherever we are.
Well, I mean, all I have to do is put hand in the doorway, and I say, "Don't let anybody pass," and then from behind it, I'll just command undead all three of these guys because I can keep doing it.
So we just don't have to.
Okay, so how does this work, Command Undead?
I just put it in chat.
Standard action, will save.
What's the will save?
10 plus half my character level plus my charisma mod.
Yeah.
Give me the number, please.
I know, I'm just doing the math. Cleric level is equal to my oracle level, so...
Yeah.
16.
Two.
And this is on one of the
It'd be one
skeletons?
at a time. Like I said, I'll just have Hand block
Alright.
the doorway, and Hand has a regeneration and a high AC, so I think he can hold out.
How many times can you...
It says on there, it should say on there. If it's not on there, it's on a different one. Hold on.
Well, it failed, so that's a bear.
You
Right.
can control any number of undead so long as their
Here,
total
it says
hit
on the
dice
second
do not
one.
exceed.
This is the one that gives me command undead.
The dotted one is
Number
the
of
one.
times equal to 3 plus my... I can do it 7 times a day.
Okay.
What is their hit
Alright.
dice? That's the limiter.
What's their hit dice?
Yeah. Well, I've already got control of one, so just tell me what one of their hit dice is. Because I would know that.
It is... That can't be right. It is 3.
Alright, well then I guess I can only control one of them.
Okay.
You can control any number of undead so long as their total hit dice do not exceed your cleric level. Hold on, though. I think I have something that increases that. Not on that one, not on that one. And those are just negatives. Spell focus. No, that's... Actually, I guess that makes my command undead difficulty 17, my spell focus and necromancy. Animate dead, no. Spell specialization. Okay, no. So I can only control the one.
Okay. So we smash the other two.
Go ahead.
Well, can you give me control of this one
Anton
too,
goes
by the way?
first.
Wouldn't be a Rob stream without a Rob yawn.
It won't let me give you control. Hold on.
Well, you just give me control of the sheet, and it should be tied to the sheet, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Because that way, if this one dies, I'll just take control of a different one.
You now have control of the sheet.
Where is it? Do I have...
Sheet,
am I able to see the sheet?
The sheet has disappeared on me, so no. I can't even see it.
Well, that's going to be real hard to have this fight, isn't it?
Well, who goes next?
Anton.
Anton, what's your move? Because I have to restart.
Alright. Let me see what my movement amount can be. Alright. Moving into the room.
Go for it.
And I'm going to fight at the one right next to me.
Go for it.
Hoping it works.
There, you see the skeleton now?
Looking... Yeah.
Just so you know, I was going to delete that token after you kill these things.
Why would I want that? I need to add to my army.
I want that. You're trying to bluff it?
Yes.
He's trying to feint.
Is that considered a mind-affecting effect?
I don't know.
Don't think it would be.
Then, okay.
It's more like a perception thing than anything.
Then it goes through. All right. Well, it could go through. Let's see if it sees you. Or if it sees what you're trying to do. It doesn't know shit. Yeah, you fainted it.
Excellent. It's my turn done.
Yes, it is. Sirach.
Yep. Gonna. I guess. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
No. I mean, yeah. We'll just hit it. It's fine.
Yeah, you beat the crap out of it.
Okay. Is it destroyed or?
It's not
Just
destroyed, but you like start punching it, and you see cracks in the bones. You notice the skeletons are all carrying like some sort of weapon. This one kind of like almost drops the weapon out of its hand.
Interesting.
Yeah, the weapon itself. If you didn't know any better, it looks like a javelin, but it's like a small, like throwing stick javelin.
Whatever.
Anyway, you punched it, Coriel.
Coriel is just going to move into the room. That's about all he can do at this point. He can't reach anything, so move in and wait for the next turn.
Skeleton. So the two that I guess can still be controlled or controlled by me. They take their javelins and their blunted ends of them, and one of them is swinging at you, Sirach. Are you ready?
Yep.
21. Yep, that's a 6 damage, I believe, if it hit.
Mm-hmm.
Second one scuttles up in front of Anton because it doesn't know any better. 22, I believe that hits.
That does hit.
All right, they're doing some damage. Ilnam.
Oh, wouldn't my skeleton also go right now?
Yes.
All right.
Wait,
so,
how did you do that spell then? You did that on Hand's turn?
No, I did the first round. Remember, I blocked the hallway,
Oh, okay.
and then nobody else decided to
Yeah.
act because I thought I could control them
Nobody
all.
else did anything, so
Okay.
we just said he could.
Right, so
Go.
mine moves down there and attacks the one that's next to it. Yeah, these guys kind of suck.
That's a miss, unfortunately. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll bring in the bigger, badder skeleton. And attack the same one as I just attacked before. Hand sheet, there we go.
Ooh, that's a hit.
Yeah, but it only takes like 4 damage actually.
That's all you needed.
Well then, yeah, I guess I got hit by other people. I forgot.
You literally crushed the skull in, and the skeleton collapses. Anton.
All right. I believe that was the one I fainted, but now this one has my buddy next to it, so I can just get my sneak attack.
Uh-huh. I'm sorry, I'm just all of a sudden like hit. That is a hit. You're using the rapier, right?
Yes.
Okay. You notice as you use the rapier on the creature, it like you're having a hard time really finding a spot to like stab and pierce the thing.
Oh, but of course, I mean, I'm stabbing through a rack of ribs. You know what's going to happen.
So, but it seems like after you rattle it around, you do chip off some of the bone, but it doesn't look like it was as much damage as it could have been.
Correct.
Sirach.
Yeah, I'm just gonna hit it a bunch. I'm not gonna do anything fancy.
Give it a try.
Make sure this is on. Yep. Okay.
Those both hit. And you're using bludgeoning, so yeah,
Yep.
that'll kill him.
Cool.
These guys are not that strong, but no.
They have weapons though.
Yes, they're carrying rusted atlases.
Okay. Let me write this down on our sheet.
I'm just confused now.
Why?
All over the place it's saying that Command Undead has no HD limit, but my thing here specifically says the Command Undead has an HD limit.
Probably because you're doing a special command undead with them.
No, my Command Undead is just from a feat. It's not a special, and I just got the feat version of Command Undead. The other one is Control Undead.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, well, I guess we just have a skeleton now. Or 2 skeletons, I should say.
Yeah, one good, one bad.
Could be a lot worse.
How long do you retain control?
It gets a saving throw once a day.
The skeleton gets a saving throw?
Yeah.
What happens if it succeeds?
Well, hold on. I think it has to be intelligent to get a saving throw. Any control, obeying your command specibility. Intelligent undead receive a new saving throw each day to resist your command. So yeah, no, this one's permanently under sway. Unless it has an intelligence, and it shouldn't because it's undead.
They are all...
Yep, 0 intelligence. So
Yeah,
things
so
like
they're-
vampires, I'm assuming mummies have an intelligence, liches, those
Yes,
would be the
they
type
do.
of things that get a saving throw. Yeah, that one sentence just never comes up when people are talking about it. They all say there's no hit die limit, and it's like, I'm reading one sentence that says there is. You know, that situation where 100 people can't be wrong if I'm right. So, wait, what?
Oh, dear. So yeah, they're dead. There's really nothing else in the room. It looks like this entire section has been completely collapsed and cut off for hundreds of years. You see, like, the blazon in the room that you can ignite if you want to, which they have ignited on the map for some reason. But it is not lit now, of course. So now you've actually cleared the entire dungeon. Congratulations.
Yay!
Now what do you do?
Okay. Well, I guess we should start setting up base.
You can do that, yes.
So I guess let's go up stairs? It was stairs, right?
Yeah. I mean, you
kinda.
could, if you meet with Aubryn and the rest of the party, and when I say the rest of the party, I mean like the other people here. Like Aubryn says, this place will actually make do for now if we actually stay here.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Is there anything else that we need to worry about coming in, or anything downstairs that we should be worried about?
Well, there was a crystal scorpion looking thing, but it didn't seem hostile. It just kind of ate crystals. And then there is a blocked off passageway going deeper into the ground, but
Probably for the best that it's blocked
very
off.
collapsed. Yeah.
What about your friend upstairs?
Well, don't ask me. Sorok wouldn't know what to do with him.
Uh,
kind of look at like
She does ask the group, like, what do you
The
want to
rest
do
of the
with
boys.
your captive?
Well, he readily surrendered when we attacked him and his group, so maybe he'll be willing to talk.
Are you going to interrogate them?
Probably should.
Well, I leave that to
Okay.
you. Maybe he'll speak to you then. I'm gonna start preparing. We're gonna try and move more of the survivors down here. Bring as much of the supplies as we can. Things have not been going well in the 2 days that you've been gone. Very weak hunts. It looks like a lot of the animals are starting to clear out from this area. So maybe it's good that we found here. At least there's something down here that we can use. But it's only a temporary solution. We still need to find a way out of this woods as soon as we can.
All right. Well, I guess I'll just start helping to set up stuff.
Okay. I mean, there's plenty of work to do. A lot of the survivors are actually quite happy to be outside, out of the elements at the moment, and they're just happy that there's actually a shelter that's significant over their heads right now.
Yeah.
So, who wants to do the interrogation while we're here tonight?
I guess I can try and take point on that. If everybody else wants to come along, if everybody has questions.
I can help, but only on intimidation factor.
That's perfectly fine. I did not take any intimidation ranks, so
So I solved my confusion, by the way.
Oh, you
There's a
did?
command undead spell and a command undead feat. The command undead spell has no hit die limit. I have the command undead feat, which is like a lesser version.
okay.
All right. Love it when things have the same name.
Yeah, it's a real source of confusion. Also, do I have intimidate?
But yeah, all I can really do is intimidate. I'm not great at actual interrogation.
I have a plus 11 intimidate.
Jesus Christ.
Oh shit! That's
Well, it
pretty
was
good.
it's a what do you call it, class skill, and I have
Yeah.
high charisma.
Oh, it's fair. You have absurdly high charisma.
Also a necromancer, so it's got probably.
True, just dangle your spooky little skeletons in front of them.
So, who's going to speak to him? Just Coriel and Ilnam?
Yeah, I mean, I'll scare him, but I'm not actually gonna hurt him.
All right.
Oh, I'll hurt him if we need to.
I
have no qualms against that.
Yeah, but
I mean, he surrendered. If he does get stubborn and you want to maybe smack him a little bit, that's fine. But there's no need to actually like hurt this guy.
Well,
Since
yeah.
He did just immediately throw up his hands and drop down.
Also, I mean, as a fourth wall breaker, I'm not about putting torture porn on the.
Yeah, that's of course.
Yeah, that's.
He is still tied up. You did have him gagged, and while you guys were downstairs, some of the others were watching to make sure he doesn't leave the dormitory area. So, go ahead.
On the way back to him, I'll stop by this well that we have right here and scoop up some water for him since he's been like tied up and gagged for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go ahead and ungag him, and I guess we'll say they probably had his hands would be tied behind him. So I'll help him take some water.
So you take like a bowl and give him the water, and
a bowl or a water skin or something. Just give him a little water.
You notice like he has like this like really like dark grayish skin, and this is like the first time you're really looking at his face. You notice that there's several scars that go on like the left side of his cheeks, as if he's been like hit by like some wild animal previously.
Okay, so like something clawed at him.
Mm-hmm. Not you guys, something else.
You know, before we go the intimidation route, since we're starting off good cop,
Mhm.
I could try giving a speech about why he should switch sides in this fight, so might join us, and even if he doesn't actually fight for us or anything, he can support the base or something like that, or
Sure. Yeah,
some.
that's a great. I mean,
It's
we've
a
killed.
war to the death out there, and at least not fighting for maybe a little while could restore some peace to your life. What doesn't involve, and I would want to make the argument here that I have the perform skill of oratory.
Ah, okay.
You're giving like a rousing speech about how like we've killed everything else in this cave, and if you want to join up with us.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be this way. Life isn't all about fighting. What happens when this is all over and there's nothing left? You can make a life for yourself now instead of a grave for yourself later.
Go ahead and roll that performance, please. It'll influence how he responds. Interesting. Coriel, were you going to say anything to him after you give him the water? Because he does drink it without even question.
Yeah, after he takes the water, I'll be like, I'll mention that he didn't seem like he wanted to fight. Seemed like you were ready to throw down your arms and stop, at a moment's notice. Seems like you're done with the fight.
Are you also fishing for information here? Just out of
Not
curiosity.
not yet. Now
Okay.
I'm just kind of establishing right now that he clearly seemed he didn't want to fight, and so that's where we'll start from.
The hobgoblin says in a pretty deep voice. He says basically to you, "It's foolish to fight you now."
Well, you gave up the fight pretty early on.
The bounty's worth you all, but you could kill me quite easily. There's no point after you slaughtered everyone else.
So they still have a bounty out on us.
Any heads from Phaendar?
Why are they so determined to make sure no one survives Phaendar?
Because you're in the way.
In whose way?
The Legion's way.
So there's a legion of you and your kind and your friends coming up to take over this whole area?
That was the plan. You've never heard of the Ironfang Legion?
Can't say it rings a bell.
We are one of the most powerful forces in this region. And our general, Lady Azaersi, she's leading the army now.
Can't be that powerful if you're having to align yourself with troglodytes in caves.
They were given a deal to submit or to be destroyed. They chose wisely. Maybe not wise enough, though.
Ilnam, you want to kick in at this point? With
yeah, Ilnam, if you want to jump in, go ahead.
Sorry, my brain has gone to Gar Central, so it's hard to focus what a good guy would say. My first thought is, well, how much is the bounty?
Right.
It's still a 25 gold ahead.
Really, that's not that much. You can make that in about a week of honest labor.
What do you know of honest labor?
Well, not much, but I just know how much the going price is. The whole economy is based off of the day's work.
But I've seen what you've done with your elf magic.
What? I don't... actually, what I mean to say is, this isn't elf magic.
All magic is elf magic.
Shh, Daryl will hear you.
We're in the Daryl caves.
He probably came back with everybody else. He will kill us all if you say that.
The whole point of the attack was to surprise you.
I'm just saying that you're risking your life for a week's worth of pay. You could just settle down and live a regular life and get paid as much as one head.
You notice he actually looks a little annoyed by what you're saying there, and then he actually stops you. Like, he actually clears his throat, and he actually looks at you square in the eyes, and he says, "We're trying to save our lives by doing this."
No, you're not. You're throwing your lives away. How many of you have died?
Many of us have died, but we're gonna die for our cause. Just like how you would die for yours, no?
You're attacking people who are defenseless for their heads. You're not dying for a cause. You're not assaulting a tyrannical leader or a foreign nation. You're assaulting helpless farmers.
We're creating our homeland.
Right. With people who have run away. They didn't even counterattack you.
And what is this?
As far as I know, they were running away from a fire. What'd you guys say?
He's talking to Coriel.
Yeah, if Goriel's the one there.
Not a fire. I mean, it was Phaendar got assaulted and run over by.
No, I'm talking about the last thing that happened to you guys.
I don't even remember.
The fort got assaulted.
The fort, that got overrun.
That got burnt up.
Oh yeah, they did burn that thing down, didn't they?
They burned most of it down, yeah.
Yeah.
Also killed a sheep or something.
They destroyed
Burn the
most of
food
your
supplies.
Burn your food supplies, burn most of your tents, killed the livestock, and also killed I think 2 people.
Right, so as I heard is that they settled down and tried to make a new life for themselves, and you attacked them again, and now it seems like they've retreated to these caves.
We were following orders to do what we must. Secure these woods. It's what Azaersi already put us in charge with. It's what Scabiston's son wanted us to do.
I don't know what these names mean. You know, they might be important to you, but they're nobody to me. And you don't have to be our enemy. Just because somebody told you to do something bad doesn't mean that you can't be a good person.
And how can I even trust any of you?
We didn't kill you. Look, you guys tied me up, and I'm trying to sway you to the good side. I'm not taking revenge because you tied me up. Look, I don't know if somebody's told you this before, but you can be a good guy.
I need you to roll a diplomacy, but it's going to be difficult because he is still considered unfriendly at the moment.
Did not put any points in diplomacy. Not even trained.
I know.
Yike.
Coriel, you can help if you want to say anything.
I also do not have diplomacy.
This is not a talky party, is it?
Well, I mean, like I said, I have performance and I have intimidation. I don't even know why I had put intimidation. They had a different vision of what I was going to be doing when I made the character.
I could give a profession soldier role to try to appeal to him as a soldier about how he's.
Ooh. I'll allow that. Yeah, explain what you're gonna. Okay. So what are you gonna say?
Basically, tell him that it seems like whoever his leaders are, they're just throwing him into some kind of bad situation that. Again, he's just chasing after people that are on the run now that are just trying to shore up their defenses and basically be left alone. We've still managed to come back and push him back most of the time. And now we've come down here and routed them out. We don't even really want to fight them. All we want to do is get away and be left alone. It's all Coriel wants anyways. He was just trying to get back home.
He says, and that's the difference. You can at least go to your home. If you can make it that far.
Where's home for you? What happened to your home?
Ask your ancestors, that one.
Oh, I think he's the Hobgoblin Daryl.
I was about to say, my human ancestors or my elf ancestors? Which ones do you not like?
Take your pick.
I guess elf. Elf seems to be a thing around here.
It's hard to... I guess I shouldn't have expected you to understand.
So important in these woods that's worth securing.
One of the few things that threatens us.
Trees.
The rangers in them.
Ants.
Supposedly, we've taken care of most of them. But I don't know all the details.
We're
We were
not
just
rangers, though. Yeah, these are just farmers. I believe one of these people used to own a shop.
Coriel, you know he's referring to probably the Trinchado.
Right.
And he says
that would be the readout that we found that was wiped out.
Yeah. And he says there's several fortresses around here. I just know that we at least have control of one of them at this point. And Scarvinaris is the one that's trying to secure the southern part here to mop up any resistance. Rangers or farmers. That's all we want to do. Control the land.
What happens after that?
We build.
No, I mean,
It's
what do
power
you do
fort.
after that?
Build and retire and make my own home.
So you have plans to retire?
Of course.
Off of the amount of heads that you're going to get? Are you going to get like a pension?
You don't know much about Hobgoblin war strategy, do you?
No, I didn't get taught that in, what'd you call it again? Elven magic camp?
He actually chuckles at that, surprisingly. We all get paid, mostly in food, mostly in gold for what we do. We can take slaves for ourselves if need be.
You know slavery's bad, right?
To you it is.
Well, if I enslaved you, you'd think it would be bad, wouldn't you?
No.
So you'd be okay if I made you my slave.
It means I'm weak.
Well, I mean, you are tied up right now.
You see my problem right now.
I mean, you have a lot of problems, and I'm really trying to work through this with you. But you seem dead set on being, like, killed or something. A rational person would say, yes, I would like to get paid for an honest day's work, and then, you know, try and settle down for retirement without having to risk your life every time. How much do you get paid for the day?
He thinks for a moment and he says, most of our pay is coming in from supplies and food, like I said.
Right. So you have, what, socialized welfare? That's what you're saying?
Of a sort, I guess. It's how armies work.
Right. So they're providing you with housing and food.
Soldier, and he points to Coriel. You get paid the same, yes? Or do you get money too?
I mean, they gave us food, but they also gave us some kind of a small stipend. Nobody really wants to fight just for food. I can go out and catch my own food.
That's another difference, then.
Right. I'm just trying to see. You're saying you get paid per day, but you're still out here headhunting. So I'm just trying to see how much you get paid per day to compare that to the headhunting versus how much it costs for one of us to live.
If you're worried I'm going to take your head, I'm a bit tied up at the moment.
I'm not worried about that. Please. You see these two? And I don't point at you, Corey. I point at the two skeletons.
Yeah.
They don't care about anything. They would kill anybody without a moment's notice. I mean...
Roll and intimidate, please.
Well, I'm not really trying to intimidate.
I know, but you're pointing at two living skeletons. I mean...
That's actually not a good roll for me.
It's a good roll for the situation because he actually goes wide-eyed for a moment and he reconsiders what he's going to say.
Look, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just saying that I'm not threatened by you. I have power over life and death itself. Even though that seems to be elven magic to you. I am just saying that it seems like you're not getting paid very well. And you're trying to turn in heads for a very low price. 25 gold does not seem like a lot.
When you don't have a lot of gold, it actually is.
Except, as I already said, you could just do an honest day's work and get the same amount of money. and you don't have to risk your life. In fact, all you have to do is risk a splinter, pulling a plow, or building a wall.
And what do you think I'm gonna do once we're done?
You said you're gonna build, which is clearly a work asset we could use now without the trying to decapitate somebody.
And why should I build for you?
Because I don't want to kill you. Look, I don't want to be the threatening guy here. I'm just saying that you could be you right now and a perfectly reasonable folk, or you could be like that skeleton standing next to you. Either way, you could still be building a wall.
Well, this is an interesting conversation now. Does anybody else want to chime in? Coriel. Is anybody else there, by the way? Sirach, Anton, are you there? Or no? Just
there,
I mean-
but Ilmam's doing such a good job.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
yeah.
I feel like
Oh.
Sirach is in the, sorry for the words, the bear Jew situation right now, where you're probably off in the dark corridor waiting to be called in case.
Yeah. Look, man, I mean, you seem to be doing fine, so kind of chilling.
Anything you want to add, Coriel?
No, he seems scared enough with the threat of the skeletons.
Though I
We
do
start
have
thinking about this.
a question. Do they have like a symbol for the army? Like
Yes.
a unit or something?
I will show you what that symbol is. Let's go back to the main map.
Yeah, it's the one that's over Phelan or whatever, isn't it?
Yeah, okay.
It's
Yeah.
getting bigger, by the way.
Jesus, it's huge now.
The thing I want to know about that is if I recognize it from events before this. Like before this invasion.
Also, looks like they took over Long Shadow.
Yeah, there's another one popped up. Christ.
Yeah. Well, that's probably the fort that he's talking about.
No, that's where Long
No.
Shadow was on the map.
Oh, is it?
We went there. I
yeah.
don't know if you were in the campaign yet.
Yeah, that
I
was
thought
before you were here.
I
We
was-
had our second
okay.
party that went to Long Shadow.
The fort he's
Yeah.
talking about is somewhere in the woods still, so it's somewhere in the fountain
Alright.
here. To answer your question, what you've seen that. So, what role? What do you have? Heraldry or history?
I don't think I have either of them.
Then it's just a straight up intelligence roll.
Alright.
I've got local.
Yeah,
I'll
I have
let you-
local.
I'll let you know. All right, I'll let you both roll the local.
Also, I think
Let's see.
Coriel already knows. You've
Yeah,
encountered this
Coriel
stuff
does
before.
know.
I just wanted to know from my personal experience if
Well,
I
yeah,
would
no,
recognize
it's just
it.
Coriel was bringing it up. It's like, Coriel, you already know. You don't need to roll.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Sirach, you cannot recall if you've seen the symbol before.
Okay.
But we do know that they call themselves the Ironfang Legion. So.
Yeah.
And Coriel, you know that this was. You've heard rumors of the Ironfang. You know this already. The Ironfang Legion previously worked with Molthune for years as a specialty beast unit.
Yeah, I do kind of. Man, it's been a while since we've talked about this.
I know, but you also know that they kind of went rogue. They're not here on the behalf of Molthune at all. They are apparently that he seems. You get the sense that he's being very genuine, where the plan is to control this area and carve out like a territory for the Legion itself. It seems like they want to try and make a hobgoblin homeland here.
Yeah, it kind of feels like that we're on not a good convincing side. Like they're on the side of progress in their eyes, and we're like a bunch of hillbilly hicks living in the woods.
Yeah.
In a weird way, that's kind of right, though it's a little bit more complicated.
Well, I mean, you don't put a bounty out for the heads of hillbilly hicks. I'm just saying.
Roll a Coriel.
You could.
Also roll a history check.
Don't
Or,
have history.
Roll another local. Okay. You remember when the hobgoblin mentioned like what your ancestors did? You recall like some 10, 15 years ago, there was an event that happened around this area up and slightly up north. And it was known as the Goblinoid Wars or the Goblin Blood Wars. It's a couple of names. It was a 4-year conflict where like hundreds of goblin tribes basically like banded together and started raiding nearby territories, like areas in Varesia, Taldor, which are like neighboring countries and things like that, as well as even going as far as like Cheliax, which is like the old empire, like to the west.
Yeah, that's way southwest.
Yeah. Like these goblins were mostly led by hobgoblins. There was thousands of them. And you've heard it's in the history books now because it only happened like 15, 20 years ago. You would see like almost every neighboring power in that region joining together. So you have like the Knights of Andoran with the Hell Knights of Cheliax, with a bunch of mercenaries from Druma, with the barbarians from like the Five King Mountains. Even some of the orc hordes from Belskin showed up and fought in this fight against them. Molthune actually even was in there as well. Nirmathas was involved also. It's believed like thousands to millions of goblins and hobgoblins were killed. And that pushed them back almost permanently.
So I'm just trying to write all this stuff down.
1,000 to 1 million is a pretty wide range for a war.
Thousands to millions, excuse me.
Still, it's like a few zeros.
Nobody knows the official numbers.
All right. In that case, I think Coriel is probably mostly heard what he needs. So I think what I'm going to do is he has like an insignia on him for like that Ironfang Legion, like some kind of a medallion or something.
It's on his armor. It's like painted on his armor.
Okay. Then we'll leave that for now. But I definitely think I want to go find Aubryn and let her know that this hobgoblin is talking about this invasion being related to the Goblinoid Wars like 10 or 15 years ago, and how it seems like they might be trying to kickstart it again and sweep through the countryside. And that we might need to try and convince all these neighboring nations and groups that we need to band together.
The look on Auburn's face is one of abject horror when she says, "How can we do that when we're already at war with Molthune and we're stuck here?"
I don't like it either. I've been fighting Molthune for the last 4 or 5 years. I'm trying to get away from it.
And you mentioned they're after the Rangers?
He says they definitely don't like the Rangers. That seems to be what they're going for now, is trying to secure the woods to find the Trinchado Rangers and wipe them out first.
We got to find them, and we got to hurry, or else we're going to lose any territory advantage we have.
You mentioned a couple forts that they're trying to bring down. I think
yes,
you said there was one to the north.
Those are the forts that I've been talking about. Though I just
know
don't know
the
where they
location
are.
of any of them?
No, I don't. That was the problem. They have the forts?
They seem to at least know where they are.
Then we don't have a lot of time.
Well, they captured one, supposedly.
What else did he tell you?
He said they captured one of the forts. They're going after the others. They're trying to build a new homeland here in Nirmathas, it seems like, and Phaendar was just the first step in that.
And the tower?
He didn't mention what the tower was about.
Maybe you can ask him.
Let's go find out. So I'll go down. Aubryn should probably come with me, since this has a lot to do with her folks. So yeah, Corey will definitely ask. First off, where does he know the location of any of the other ranger forts that they're meant to attack? And also, what's the point of that huge obsidian tower that you're building in the remnants of Phaendar?
He kind of laughs for a quick second and he says, "Well, the tower I couldn't tell you. That's how we came in. And now it's a base of operations."
I mean, how you came in? Like the tower has some kind of teleportation portal? It's a teleporting stone?
We didn't teleport. We sprang up from under it.
The towers are tunneling up from under the ground?
I guess. I couldn't tell you. I just remember our attack originally on Phaendar was all coming from underground. And then we sprouted up and spread out and tried to take all of you with us. Either enslave you or kill you if there was any resistance. That was the order. And as far as the locations of those forts, I've heard reports, but again, why should I tell you that?
We'll come back to that. Do you know anything about the Darklands?
Under the earth, that's where the dark elves and all those other creatures live, right? That the answer is yes. Yeah. He says, "What of them?"
You just happen to show up in this cave to deal with these troglodytes that just happen to have an entrance to what seems like maybe the Darklands down in the bottom levels. You didn't know anything about that?
He says we weren't even allowed downstairs because the troglodyte leader wouldn't let us. She told us we had to stay up here, and we were only here as a rest stop to go up north to Camp Redjaw. He doesn't say the name of the camp, by the way. I'm just giving you context for where he was going.
Okay, Hobgoblin Camp to the north.
Which you know about already because King scouted that previously.
I can't remember. So King would have told Forvel, and then I would have eventually learned about it. Okay.
No, you all were there when King drew up a map.
Yeah.
I mean, there was all the Long Shadow group and all that. I can't even remember.
I think this was recently. This was just before the assault came.
Okay.
And he also says, we were just stopping here for a quick rest and supplies because they're our allies. Had extra slaves, he says, looking at Ilnam, to bring in.
Look, I really don't know what you're trying to do when you say that.
Well, the tables have turned.
No, you're not a slave. Slavery is bad.
That's not how this works, and you know it.
How what works? I'm not going to kill you. They're not going to kill you. You're not going to kill him, right?
I don't have any plans to right now.
Right, I say we just keep him locked in this room, and I can have my 2 things here. Make sure he stays in the room. And for now, we can just keep him here until maybe he sees the error of his ways.
Why aren't you killing me?
Because I don't have to?
I've already beaten you. There's no need.
I'm actually surprised by that.
Look, all we did was kill you. Then you just kill us back, and this thing would just keep going on forever. We need to find a solution before we're all dead. Look, we kill a surprising number of each other every day. It's frankly a shock to me that our civilizations have continued.
Yes, it's a lot of murder tourists out there. That was an inside joke. Why am I talking like him out of character?
I don't know.
No, I gathered that because I think I said that at the beginning of the session.
You did.
You did.
You mentioned that earlier.
It's called a callback. Anyway, all he says at the end of that is, he actually doesn't know what to say at that point.
Look, it's an eye for an eye when we're really going to have to count on each other to see.
I like that line. Roll diplomacy.
I don't have diplomacy.
I know, but I'm giving you a bonus for this one.
I have diplomacy, and it's the same as yours. Because you have that high of a charisma.
Mine's getting worse every time I roll it.
It's not horrible.
Well, last time I rolled a 13, I think, didn't I? And now it's 11.
You are getting a slight bonus with it. He still seems a bit unfriendly, but it looks like he's wavering a little bit. So if you keep talking to him and working on it, you might be able to get through. But he is not revealing at the moment like where the other three, the other like three fortresses are in the woods.
I mean, I'm not even shooting for that. I know Coriel's been asking him constant questions, but I'm not interrogating him. I just want him to see reason. Like, he keeps saying stuff. It's like, I'm sure if Sirach were in the room, he'd get beaten to death. It's like, why are you saying this shit? What are you hoping will happen?
I think the trick here is consider his culture.
That's the problem, is that we haven't because we can't.
Something to think about then. But
well, no, I mean, that's the problem. That's why we're killing each other. You're saying, think of his culture. Well, he's not thinking about our culture either.
I know, it's you have to figure out a way to try and bridge that gap.
Also, his culture is a militaristic one that favors strength and death and honor, and we're trying to say peace is also a good way, so it's really hard to honor his traditions when we want him to not kill us. His traditions are to kill us, by the way.
There are other ways, well, not necessarily to kill you, but there's other ways to play to the honor. And play to the regimentality of it.
Look, if I know these tropes well enough, you just have to keep him captive long enough until he can try to escape or do something drastic, and then we can prove that we are who we say we are, and he'll either find respect. Either that, or we trap him in the woods alone with the Sirach, and have an enemy mine scenario where Sirach has to raise his son or something.
Bruh.
What?
Enemy Mine. Have you never seen Enemy Mine?
No.
Two fighting factions that never talk to one another. The two fighter pilots crash land on a planet, and they fight each other for a while, and then they find out they have to depend on one another to survive because the planet's just so fucking hostile.
That does sound awesome.
And turns out one of them that you think is a guy the whole movie is a woman in their society, or they're androgynous or something like that, because gives birth and then dies, and the human has to take care of the alien baby of a species that they've been at war at and killing for so long, and then has to then save that kid from a human mining colony that captures him in the area and be like, don't do this, I've learned my lesson, that sort of thing.
Yeah. On that note, it is almost 10:30 now. We went a little over time, but I think we were just like rocking and rolling with that scene there.
It's all about Babylon 5.
Yeah, we'll blame Babylon 5. Which, by the way,
Definitely
definitely watch an episode or two within the next week.
But not Legend of the Rangers.
Legend
of the Rangers was the worst.
I don't think I will.
I don't think I will.
No, I don't think I will.
I mean, I can't fault you. I still refuse to watch JoJo's as well.
I watched like 2 seasons of it.
I hear if you get to the 3rd, it actually gets good, but I say also fuck those people.
I watch like 3 episodes of JoJo's every couple of months, and then I'm like, I think I'm good now.
Somehow I got through season 1. Don't know how I did that.
Season 1's not that great.
I don't even know what JoJo's is.
Pretty
bizarre adventure.
Pretty slow.
Oh, that anime?
I literally just filled out a little questionnaire and listed JoJo's as worst anime, so I have a clip of SFR saying don't cave into peer pressure if someone tells you to watch a show.
I mean, it's fine.
Be your own man. Don't watch JoJo's just because someone tells you to.
It's fine.
But you can only take it in small doses. At least me.
I'd rather watch Bobo
yeah,
than JoJo's.
Well, I forgot about that one.
I don't know. Season 4 was good enough for me to watch consistently. Or Stardust Crusade, whatever the fuck they call it.
You just said you only watched 2 seasons.
I've actually watched 3 at this point because I just watched season 5.
But you also watched season 4.
Yeah.
You went season 1 to season 4?
Yeah.
Oh, you're one of those.
Well, actually, I don't know the seasons. I only know the names.
I don't even know that.
So I actually have no idea which order it's in. I watched season 1 for sure. It is the very first one, and then I watched Stardust Crusaders, and then I watched Stone Ocean. I don't know the other two.
Beats me. I got through season 1, and I was like, no, this sucks. I'm out.
It might be 1 and 2 and 5.
So good night, everybody.
Good night. That's
Yeah, good
Babylon 5 next week.
Babylon 5, JoJo, who fucking knows?
Yeah, everyone's gonna watch stuff. Quick debriefing. I hope you had fun tonight.
Oh yeah,
And-
it was good. By the way, is it in the beginning, or are you gonna watch the episode first?
I'll be watching the pilot. I'll probably do it in my actual airing production order. That's what I usually do.
Alrighty then.
Didn't we start
So-
the movie
Fair.
though?
No, watch the pilot. Save the movie for later.
But the
that's
pilot is the prequel stuff for the show.
Anyway,
Well,
Have a good night, everybody. I know
Yeah.
we're running really late now. Thank you for all of you for being here.
So
I'll
next
see you
week
ne-
is the Babylon 5 RPG, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
There's one, by the way.
We'll
Oh,
set a
God.
schedule for it. We'll do a one shot. Have a good night.
Right.
good night, everybody.